Can you guys hear me? Yeah, let's go with yes. Let's go with start. Here we go. All right, hello. One day I'll get around to changing that intro to say YouTube instead of Twitch. I'll just take Twitch off. That'd be easy. I've been thinking about doing a redesign anyway. Eventually I'll do that, but not tonight. Welcome to the stream. I'm Eric. I'll be your photo editor for the evening, or for the nonsense early morning that it almost is here on the East Coast. Uh, yeah. So tonight we're gonna be going through some more photos from North Carolina beaches. We're gonna be looking at, I think maybe, fingers crossed, finishing up some of the most of the sunset ones and working onto the kind of the foggy, cloudy morning set of or half of the photos. Um, but yeah, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk a little bit about just, uh, you know, using photography as therapy in a way and finding yourself just, yeah, finding peace with it, because that's kind of what I'm using it for tonight. So we'll see how that goes. Um, as always, I do this for a plethora of reasons. One of them being I enjoy it. It also is a good way for me to, excuse me, it's a good way to kind of light a fire under me to keep working through photos, to open up Lightroom and edit. Um, it's also uh, I try to, I grew up with educators, so teaching has been a thing that's always been important to me, and I wonder and hope that I might be able to teach a little bit with the editing that I do. Um, Also because photo editing, I mean video editing as well when I do it, but photo editing is a massively important part of the photography process, especially nowadays. And it has been going back going back pre-digital. There was still, even on film, there was massive amounts of editing done just in a more physical chemical darkroom kind of way as opposed to clicking a mouse. But yes, it's a huge part of the process, and it doesn't really get talked about much. I find it's usually uh, it's if you're talking about how to if you see a photo you like and you look up how it was taken, usually you get if you get anything, you're gonna get lenses and locations and shutter speeds and ISOs and f-stops, but you're not gonna get a lot about post-production, uh, which is which is strange to me because that's such a hugely essential part of the process. Um, and oftentimes, if you do come across someone who will tell you, here's how to edit your photos, it's often hidden behind a paywall. So I do what I do to kind of pull the curtain back on it, try to share my editing process. Maybe it helps, maybe it inspires you to do something else, or to edit your own photos in a new way, or to tell me to fuck off. Who knows? But yes, that's why I do it. If you're watching and if you're watching live or if you're watching later, please feel free to comment in chat with links to your photography if you want to share that. Yeah, no, as much as this platform is mine, and as much as it is a platform at all, I like to share it with as many people as I can. So, I've been talking for about 5 minutes. Let's get into some photo editing that you were promised. So, here we are back in Lightroom. This is the photo. If you watched last time, this is the photo I worked on uh, a bit and then kind of moved on from it because it wasn't really speaking to me. I've got a couple ideas of things I want to try with it right now. Crop wise, I think it's still good. I can't really pull it down much. I kind of like yeah, I like seeing the water more than I like than getting that sand in there. We got plenty of sand shots later. Um, let's start with, I think that kind of came to mind when I looked at this again was doing a linear mask here, which is, fun fact, this kind of photo editing goes back farther than digital, because this is the kind of thing you would get. Um, there we go. Let's bring those up. Bring the blacks. Give us a little bit. We can do a little more with this in a sec, but right now I just want to kind of. I was like up in the texture. That's what I wanted to do. Bring up those brights. Um, Bring the whites down to keep the highlights up. Nah, I think I want a little bit of the whites in there. I want that one a little bit of a punch to it. That's better. Um, Makes you notice it more because the sky is so dominant in the photo. Um, but yeah, no, the original one of the original, not original, I mean, early types of photo editing, I'm sure go back to some very, very weird ideas, just given how you do weird things with any new art form. Um, but so I crank up the blues here. I feel like that's gonna, yeah, give me a little bit in that sky. Let's do that. Keep them up like that. There we go. Yeah. Always weird when you get a. First of all, it's weird when you get an Instagram video call, and then weirder when it comes from a massive group chat. Um, but anyway, my point, going back, yeah, but any new art form, you're gonna have some very weird stuff going on. Yeah, I know I missed a video chat. Yep. Um, but uh, yeah, early photo editing or kind of early, established photo editing involved basically some things called dodging and burning, which if you're familiar with Photoshop and blend layer or blend modes, you will those might be familiar. Um, but dodging and burning were basically ways of, ooh, actually a little more blue in there. Let's bring that up and let's brighten that up. If I can. It's not much to brighten, but let's brighten that up a little bit. I like that. A little noisy, not too bad. We do something with that. But yeah, that was so yeah, dodging and burning were ways where basically you would chemically treat certain parts of the photo to brighten or darken or adjust them in some ways, and to thus pull them out as highlight, to make them more noticeable, or to if you had a portrait of somebody something with the background, and you wanted to like stuff in the sky and you wanted to whiten that whole area out so the person would stand out from a more stark background, you could do that. Uh, so yeah, that's a yeah, the idea of selecting certain areas of the photo uh, and adjusting them does actually go back pretty far. All right, I'm gonna select the clouds here. Just kind of do this as a really rough mask because it's not. I'm just mostly gonna be taking out a little bit of noise. That's really good. I'm not really doing much with color. Let's take out the noise. Let's bring the noise thing up, and let's also up the texture so we get that kind of weird. There we go. You get that kind of weird, almost watercolory softness. I actually like that a lot. Done. Now let's swing down to the hue adjustment here. There's a little bit of purple up there. I don't want to. I'd like to shift that. Is this happening again? That's a mess. Okay. A little purple there. I'd like to shift that as much as I can toward blue. The blues I can shift toward purple very easily. We're going to keep that where they are. We can shift the aquas to blue, but that's less interesting. Let's shift them a little more toward green. That's interesting. I don't love that as much as I thought I was going to. Let's stick with this. Let's keep it this way. And go with that if I want to. One thing I could do if I go to this mask here, and if I finish brushing this in, I could lean this a little more bluish. That makes a big distraction from the actual cool details of the thing. This photo itself has some very interesting starkness. I'm not sure exactly what it is I like about this photo, but I do like it. There's something about it that makes me feel something. I couldn't tell you what, but I can tell you it makes me feel. So, all right. I'm gonna say that one's done. Before I render and print all these, I'm going to I will take the time to like just click through all of them and readjust. This is the vertical panorama that I need to put together in Photoshop. This is that's the first attempt at a panorama. That didn't really work, but it's something. Same deal. Vertical panoramas will come back. We worked on these last time. These come out looking pretty good. Just leaning into some very stark colors. This one's okay. We'll see if I end up publishing that one. Actually, I didn't even rate it, so I'm probably not gonna. Let's see. You know what? This time, just because I know where my head's at. Oh, that's right. We did these last time. This one's looking pretty good. There we go. Locks it in. A little black and white. Another one in color. Yeah, this came out pretty good. This one. Oh yeah. I love that good sky. That hazy sky. You gotta love it. All right, so let's work our way backwards now I think about it. Let's start here. Because I always have trouble working on these. I was, kind of something I noticed that I do, and I'm sure if you're a photographer, you do this likely as well, unless you're a very discerning photographer, is I like to um, I like to think of when I go out and take photos, I like to think of it as sketching in a way. I'm not actually trying to complete finished photographs. I'm just trying to, you know, capture some essence of an idea. There's a photographer named Alistair Ben, who's if you're on YouTube, look up expressive photography. That's his handle. And that's something he talks a lot about, is that photography in the field is sketching uh, more than its finished creation at that point. But yeah, so I tend to have one thing you can kind of get stuck in is, okay, this, I see what I'm going for there with the layers, but I'm not really getting it. Let's stick to the brights here. Let's just stick to that. Now we got some birds all the way up to the sky. That's something we can work with. It's almost 1-to-1, which is nice. But anyway, yeah, it talks about sketching and talks about so yeah, so I tend to go out and take a bunch of photos of the same thing to try to kind of see it from different angles, and then I end up in here, and I'm like, all right, do I want to try to edit all of the ones from this? And it's like, oh, let's skip this one for now and move on to the next one. Oh, the next one's the exact same thing as the one I was just looking at, and it can be demoralizing. So let me try to come at this backwards and see what it brings me. All right, texture up. Yeah, we're not going to do it that way though. We're going to do it specifically for the clouds and the ocean. Uh, Dehaze. I am becoming less enamored with the with the high contrast stuff, or the contrasty colors on this one at least right now. Yeah, I really wish there was less just this middle section of the sky. We're gonna do something with that. Do something with that. Let's bring up the shadows. Up the exposure just a touch. Gives a little bit of noise, but actually that does brighten things up very nicely, and I like that. I could go this direction, give us a more of a sunset feel. You go a little bluer, gives more of that early morning feel. It's not really. Let's go black and white and just live in texture. Something about that I don't hate. I don't know. I'm gonna do two versions of this. Let's start off with the things we know we want to do. I know I want to do another linear mask down here at the bottom uh, to get the. Come on, why is my mouse dragging a bit? That'll work. Just to get the couple things. One, brighten up the water a little bit. I think that works. And we're up the texture, which also brightens it up because the more edges something has, the more effect the texture tool has. So we're gonna do that. Let's look at that. Noisy in a good way. I'll take it. And we're gonna do a similar thing, just in a more laid back way with the sky. That's one of the reasons I'm doing it this way instead of the select sky feature, because I want to be able to kind of layer this in a little deeper. So we're gonna come down like that. Sort of something like that. Bring up the texture. Could bring up the clarity more and just really get some depth in there. I actually like that. Dehaze is too much. Dehaze is always too much for a photo like this. So we're gonna go with that. Bring up those highlights a little bit. Yeah, that looks good. Really leaning into the drama of what's happening up there. I'm also having the birds down here that look terrestrial. I like that. And by doing this, we're starting to pull out the actual birds in the middle, which helps. Honestly, so part of it's really debating dropping this one into Photoshop just to add a couple birds to the middle of this. You know, we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that in a sec. Right now, we're gonna keep adjusting this. This might be the big photo for tonight. All right, let's play with some color because I like how the light is all kind of handled here. I like this. I like the texture. I like everything there. So let's look at some color and play with that for a bit. Obviously, first thing is play with the blues. I'm gonna bring the yellows. The yellows aren't really doing. Just bring the oranges down. Yellows as well. Reds too, probably. Yep, let's go back. New plan. Let's go back to this other mask. Let's actually take it back. I don't want to desaturate because I like the blues. How about that? Back near to our colors. See if I adjust the reds, a little bit of red. Let's bring that down. Oranges, plenty of that. Yellows, not really doing much. Magentas, anything going on? A little bit there. There we go. That's the stuff we gotta take out. And we gotta bring the colors down here. It's going to look green a little bit. I don't know. I want this to be kind of monochromatic, I think. And that right there is why you be careful doing this kind of edit, because you start getting some of that weird little color fringing going on that we're gonna kind of gonna do things in a almost a bit of a stair step pattern. That actually doesn't look too bad. Bringing those colors up actually isn't too bad. Right, we're gonna stick with that for now. Bring that up a little bit. It's so noisy. We're gonna work on that. But I'm gonna do that in a second. First thing I want to do. Yeah, we're gonna do a good amount of luminance. First thing I want to do is actually take it back. Before I do this, let's go ahead and jump this into Photoshop and hope that I don't crash my computer doing it. So we go to Edit in, Adobe Photoshop 2022. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and open up our photo. At least it should. Wait for it. Cool. Okay, so there's the photo. Excellent. We'll start by removing that from the background layer. We're going to come in here, and I'm going to start selecting some pixels. Up the wand and see what I get. Turn the tolerance down a bit. Now we're going to bring the tolerance down. There we go. Good. We're going to copy those pixels. We're going to paste them into a new layer. Cool. Just leaving our one bird there. Excellent. So a couple more of these guys. Let's get these two down here. They seem cool. They're off doing cool bird stuff. Let's select them. Oop. Holding the wrong button. There we go. Cool. Let's go copy and paste. Turn it off. There they are. Excellent. They look janky as hell, but that's okay. What other birds have we got? We got this bird here. Nice little bird. Call him Walter. And we're going to grab him. A little bits of the wings there. Nope, not too much. Okay. Tolerance. Yeah, you know, that's probably fine. Copy. Paste. Hello. Walter. You'll probably blend in nicely. All right, who else we got? Go rid of these lovely gents over here. Let's see if we can get both of these guys. Enough birds here. Get some wings. There we go. Copy, paste. And one more. This dude. And copy, paste. Awesome. So now, if I turn this off, we got a whole bunch of birds. So we're going to select those birds. We're going to move them up here. Step one. Hit Control 0 to recenter this thing. And now what we got to do is just move these guys around a little bit. I have to zoom in a bit in order to do this. So they aren't quite, nope, I'm going to resize him at the moment. I might do that in a sec, but right now, whoa. Come on. I'm going to move you over a bit. Downside to working on with small details on big photos. There we go, put you there. Cool, you're set. Call you Jennifer. Let's check out our next guy. Here we go. We like this dude. One of our more distinctive birds. So I'm going to put him, I don't want to resize him, I just want to move him. Photoshop. bring him up and over here. That is our bridge right to the top there. And then we're going to go to layer, theoretically, transform, flip horizontal. So he's doing something a little bit different. And that makes him stand out differently from the others. And we will name him Ashton. All right, who's next? Walter. Walter the bird. So, all right, first thing, I actually like the idea of flipping him around because he's a little specific. So transform horizontal. Of course, we've moved all our birds to one side, so let's bring Walter over to the other. Just very slowly. And here we see the great sea of noise that just never seems to fucking stop. If you zoom in close enough, it feels like you're looking at art or texture, something that seems artistic. And that's how we all get away with it. Oop. I'll make him a little bigger. Yeah, he's got stuff going on. Next one. This guy. Got two left. Now that's two birds there. We're going to take up a nice bit of residence kind of up here in the middle third there, which we're not even close to yet. So here we go. Keep moving. Oop. Nope. There we go. Somewhere up here in the sky. Maybe a little bigger. That's two birds named, let's see, Lucy and Evelyn. That works. And finally, our OG bird, who's going to get to hang out right in the middle once we kind of flip him around. Transform, horizontal. And we're going to bring you, let me move you, Photoshop. You are. That's exciting. We put you kind of right there, kind of right in the middle. Make it a little bigger. Give it a rotation. Awesome. We're going to call you Marth. Cool. All right. I'm going to switch Marth and Ashton. Ashton kind of over here. We're going to move Marth kind of up and this way. We're going to rotate Marth going that way a little bit. Cool. So automatically that definitely helps our, let's group this into birds. Birdemic. So without width gives us a little more going on there. I think I need to move Jennifer again. Bring Jennifer up because these guys do seem to be this group does seem to be kind of in a layer together, and I prefer they weren't. Let's see. Let's move Martha up a little bit. Let's move Lucy and Evelyn. Them up a bit, kind of there. Let's move Ashton. Let's move Ashton down. Yeah. The fun of trying to create random bird chaos. All right. Is there anything else I want to do with this group here? Pretty happy with it. I don't think that's too bad. Yeah, it didn't hurt to add another one. Let's come grab this bird friend here. Click, click, good. Copy, paste. Into Birdemic you go. We're going to call you Heath. And we're going to move Heath the bird. Where are we moving Heath the bird to? That's a good question. Stop that. We're going to put Heath the bird. Sheila going to put Heath the bird over here with the original Heath. Like that. Boom. And give those little bits of, actually, timeout. Better idea. Zoom out. Let's move Heath again. We're going to take Heath and move Heath way over here. Because I want to have more birds together, but I also don't want to have them all kind of copying each other. So let's, how close is that to where I want it to be? Oh, completely, we're still halfway across the picture. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Come on, Heath, we got adventures. That's better. So Heath is going to hang out here. Kind of at a weird angle to this guy. And then here, I'm going to do another copy of this bird. Yeah, that'll probably work. And this will be named Shannon. And we will then take Shannon. Is much more malleable because she is. Yeah, we'll put her over here with kind of hanging out just around OG Heath. That's not bad. I'm going to do a quick little layer mask on Shannon. Brush, bring that down. I'm just going to clean up this discoloration around her. I could do on all of them, but I don't really need to. Everyone else is pretty good about it. There we go. Yeah, that gives it more of a birds are doing stuff kind of feel. I like that. Okay, so we're just going to save that here. Nice and easy. We're going to wait a second while it does that. It's always important to check Facebook. And then if we can just close Photoshop, and now Lightroom has given us, there's the original, and there's the Photoshop version already in here. So I can keep working on it. So first things first, we're going to go down to Luminosity. This is what I wanted to do before I got anything else. Before I did after Photoshop, we're going to go to Luminosity, and we're going to up that a decent amount. It sounds like it's not helping. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's doing something. Cool. Let's crank that way up, and it's not changing too much of the photo. I actually like that. Done. That helps. We could do some profile corrections on this. Let me see what this looks like with the. Oh wow, that's so much worse. Yikes! Get rid of that. Actually, hang on a second. If I reduce it, I pull the distortion back. Nah, we're not getting anything else. Okay, that's gonna stay off. All right, not too bad. I'm actually liking that. Liking that a lot. Okay, cool. So there's our another edited photo. Cool. So we're going back. We got our. I spent so much time with these seagulls trying to get a photo that looks like make them look like a boy band. Let's set this at 1:1. Make it bigger. Here's some cool. There we go. There's some fun to be had with this one. Done. I'm actually gonna, let me adjust that a little bit. Let's unlock that. If I do this and then, nope. Come on, there's a way to do this. Is the corner? Come on. There it is. Kind of gotta jerk the mouse a little bit, but you can get this to. That's actually worse. Never mind. Now that I've learned it, now that I figured it out, back to 1:1. We're gonna go big. Go big. Gonna get those guys centered. We're gonna unlock, and we're just gonna pull this down just a bit. Kind of keep them in the middle. There we go. Yeah, just a middle band of seagulls. The middle band. Cool. That looks good. I like that. Okay, let's play a little bit. So I've done some highlights and darkening and stuff, but I haven't played with my favorites. Let me do those individually because the clarity slider and the well dehaze is gonna be a mess. We're not gonna. Yeah, we might actually unhaze, rehaze, less haze. Might do some of that because that actually is giving me the effect that I want. Texturing, I can up the texture. I think upping the texture works fine for this photo. Bring the blacks down a bit. Bring the contrast up. Nah, we're gonna leave the contrast where it is for now. Actually, bringing the contrast down helps a lot for what I'm trying to do. Colors. Honestly, the color here doesn't. Out of curiosity, what does this look like in black and white? I remember saying I wanted to try it. I've turned around and that's how I like it in color. Perfect. Moving on. These guys I also like in color because the color is so subtle. Like we could crank the blues up. Honestly, that doesn't look too bad. We'll bring it up a little bit. Gives it a little bit of soft saturation or soft color to it. So it's not totally black and white image, but I think you still notice the composition before you notice anything else, and that's something that I like. I feel like it's a little bit off. Let's move this just a touch that way. Done. There we go. Trying to get that balance. Okay. So next thing, and I'm actually really happy with this. Next thing's probably gonna be the last thing. We're gonna do a couple of linear masks, basically outside of our seagulls. We're gonna let it fall off a little bit, bring it up, kind of like that, and then we're going to duplicate, get a second linear gradient in that same thing. So I'll be doing the same thing to it. Flip this over, and literally just the same thing, just kind of everything but the gulls. Cool. So now I can up the clarity of that. I can up the contrast a little. Bring the contrast down actually really works. But because I've upped the clarity, and I'm going to bring the shadows down a bit. Actually, up the texture. We already played with the texture. Bring the texture. Nah, let's keep the texture where it is. The highlights up and the blacks down. So we're taking away contrast and then adding it back slightly differently, which is going to, yeah, make our birds here stand out nicely. Done. Let's add one more mask. New luminance range. So we're gonna be working on brightness, and we're gonna be clicking on birds. That's good. Okay, let's pull this back until it's as much on the birds as possible without being on much else. Cool. I can live with that for now. Good. Now we're going to subtract with a brush, and we're going to erase everything that is not bird related. Just kind of I mean, having those dark spots isn't a bad thing, but those small dark spots that are kind of all over the place will end up adding contrast where I don't necessarily want it. My goal here is to make sure our focus is on our seagull band, our seagull sextet. Ooh, seagull sextet. That's a good name for this. Somebody, if you're watching, somebody like text me and remind me to call this picture that. All right, we're going to zoom in 50%. This is a pretty simple thing. We're just going to erase that, erase this. Here. Oh, good. Our brush is delaying a bit. That's always fun. Let's get it off there. I guess I can keep it a little bit. Let's undo that one. I'll keep their shadows a little bit. We're just gonna get rid of some of these lines. The only downside to doing luminance ranges or using some of the smarter masks is that you end up with bits where it's sort of like half. Like uh like they do like sort of not full flow photos or masking. So you sometimes end up with like, oh, I don't think there's anything. It doesn't look like there's anything there, but there's a little touch of it somewhere. Which of course means less of an effect, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to stuff like this. So I would kind of want like, if I didn't want the mask there, I don't want any of the mask there. Cool. It's not bad though. I'm also kind of a part perfectionist, part slob when it comes to this. Also knowing I'm gilding the lily. Okay, so there we go. Now it's mostly just our birds. I can bring the blacks down on them a little more. Can up the contrast on them a bit. make too much of a difference, actually. Shadows. There we go. So they stand out a little more. Actually, if I just bring the shadows down a touch more, I think I get the same effect that I want without not quite as severe. There we go. That's better. Cool. Done. I like that. That's a cool, simple photo. Another one. I've already cropped this and done some editing on it. This is a wow. I was going for full on like Facebook cover photo here. I don't know about this one. Let's go to the next one. Let's look at the next one. It's not even in focus. It actually is in focus. I like the wall of water behind them, but this does feel very similar to this. That's what I mean. I feel like you're always come back to looking at the same kind of things for a while and trying to figure out this isn't, if I'd been, all right, now this we can play with. This one come up, we can do this one. We can probably do a really nice one-to-one on. Yeah, that's really nice. Let's go a little wider. Come on, all the way. Why are we fighting on this one, guys? We're gonna unlock that aspect ratio. We're gonna go all the way to the edge. We're gonna go a little bit further down. There we go. Done. Some blurry birds there, but some decent thirds actually. I like that. Clarity. Dehaze? Nah, we're gonna keep the haze kind of where it is. Texture? Yeah, let's texture the shit out of that one. This is a maybe. Cool. But yeah, I'm kind of feeling the end of that one. I think we've done our big one for the night with our seagull band. Yeah, all right, well, cool. Now I can see the two ends of where I'm going here. I guess there's a few more back here that we haven't touched yet, but we're getting what 77 to 101 now. Only about just around 23, 24 left to do on this side. It's not bad. And then we come over here. There's a lot of these, but a lot of these are duplicates that I'll be able to delete some of, and I've already edited a lot of these, and I'm really happy with them. Got a nice pelican excursion there. Uh, so like, yeah, I don't know how many pelican shots I'm gonna end up doing because I clicked through and I like this one the best. I think this is the best of the group. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna delete these. I guess I can delete them from Lightroom just to. That one's a maybe. There's something about this one. Let me just play with cropping this. Should just be able to tell this thing to auto edit everything else, and I'll just do all the cropping because I really do love doing that. Let's pull this. If I pull it back to here, kind of. Can I get this thing lined up with? Nah, to get the full. To get the actual diamond effect that I would want there. Something akin to that, and then widen the photo up. Unlock this. We're not sticking a one-to-one right now. Go. Oh, I see why you're doing that. Okay, undo that. Undo. Lock. I should be able to go bigger from here, though. There we go. That's better. I can move it a bit. One direction versus the other. I can actually get it to be that kind of full-on half sky, half ocean thing. But I don't really want that. I kind of like. I like the lines here. If I'm doing that, that horizon's gonna be adjusted a bit just to. There we go. Let's look at that. Rotate it like that. Process it that way. That's not bad. There's something that works about that photo right now. Black and white almost definitely. What if I crop it in even further? Okay. Lightroom's not happy with the way I'm cropping this. If I crop it in more, so we really just get the pelicans. Turn this into this weird kind of badge thing here. If I can actually, I can actually go down here. Can I get pelicans and just a touch of sand? That'd be nice. Something like that. Done. Wrong way. I do kind of like that. There's something about it I don't entirely hate, which is a weird sentence. But yeah, I'm gonna play with this one some more. Because I want it, if I want the pelicans in the center, I gotta either lose the sand or go bigger. If I want them in the center, it looks like this. Kind of get them right across that diagonal. And there's more sky, but the sky is not as interesting as having the layers. So, okay. Guess I could also attempt to get my horizon straight. Let me see what that would look like. I'm ending the stream in 2 minutes, I promise. Let's do a copy before I've edited anything. Let's reset the cropping here, and now let's attempt to get that horizon actually straight, something like that. And if we bring this in, so it's just pelicans and pelicans, bring it up a bit, we can bring it down. Bring it down even more. Yeah, we gotta get this. Yeah, if I want the sand, I kind of gotta diamond it up. There's something kind of cool about this. This kind of leans into that same seagull boy band kind of vibe, but it's not bad. Done. Okay. So it's that versus this. This is more interesting to me. This is 100% more interesting to me. That's if I kind of bring it up a little bit and down a bit. For some reason that's better. I couldn't tell you why. Unlock this crop. I want this photo to be a little bit, a little bit wider. Just a bit on either side. I already know I'm gonna have to be blurring out the sky, so I could go all the way down here. Hmm. Something to keep working on. Just keep trying to find your truth, find your moment. Honestly, this is kind of really zen for me. Just kind of seeing what I find, seeing what draws me. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna call it a night on this. Got plenty to work with, but have done a lot that I'm happy with. So yeah, look at those waves. Very happy with that photo. Yeah, so I'm gonna land on my pelicans here, and that'll be my excuse to click back to me. So thank you for joining. Gonna call it a night. This has been a nice little 45 minutes uh, of doing some photo editing. This is a palette cleanser for my night. So I'm gonna head off. Hope you are doing well. Hope you're staying safe. Hope you're making good art, and hope you're being compassionate and finding people to make art with. Because yeah, we're yeah, we make art for several reasons. We make it for ourselves. We make it for others. I like to imagine a lot of times making art when I'm down on myself and I don't think I'm worth it. I imagine myself making art for the people that I love, and kind of letting them be my guide. So yeah, be compassionate, be kind, and make stuff. Share it with people. So with that, good night. Be safe, and yeah, make awesome stuff. There's a lot of awesome thoughts in your head that you could do. So you could make some amazing work with. Okay, have a good night.